Okay, I'm gonna go into the 4 exercises I want you to do for your first week or 2 of dry work. And it's gonna start with that first one that we just talked about in the previous video. It's gonna be the stride drill, making sure you hip rotation sequence up. So it's just nice and easy, dry work, no ball, up, finish. My effort level is probably about 40, 50% here. Up, turn. 10 of those. Now I'm gonna move into the Nolan Arenado drill, which is a staple of our program when you get to the plyo ball part of it. But for the athletes, this is a really good one to do. They always love doing this one. It feels really comfortable, and it also kind of gives them a nice, good, clean path here. I have one knee down, my throwing side knee. I have my other foot extended and my toe up, but my legs are relaxed. I'm gonna go through the same throwing motion, 40 to 50%. Nice and easy. Grooving that pattern, making sure as I'm doing this, I'm not seeing any bringing the hand in too early and lassoing out. So you want to make sure when you're doing all these drills, you're getting to the 2, hips go first, arm lays back. So we're going to just nicely and gently get them to understand what layback feels like and how that stretch happens in the throwing motion. I'm inside 90, I'm just not going too far inside 90, and of course not wanting to stay outside 90 here. Now there's a little trick here if you want, and you need them to get the feeling of the whip position. That layback is have them get to this position, square up, and just have them relax and go back and forth and gently let that arm stretch backwards. And if I get an athlete that's trying to do this and they look like this, here, only emphasizing forward, and they're kind of guarding, restricting that kind of psychological feeling of just, no, let it relax and stretch. I will kind of emphasize the cue to say, stretch backwards when you're throwing. Just let your arm gently go backwards instead of just telling them, hey, go backwards and forward. Once they get the cue of going backwards, then they'll gently relax and go this way. So once I got that feeling, I'm getting them out of any kind of extra stuff here. I'm gonna come up to that 2 position and release. Emphasizing pronating. Oftentimes I'll tell them to buckle their seatbelt. So if I have a young kid that's getting here to the 2 position, but he's stopping, I'm gonna have him finish and let his shoulders buckle his seatbelt. Another cue there, let them think of taking their left shoulder, their non-throwing shoulder, and replacing it with their throwing shoulder. So where that position was, now this shoulder finishes there. That's a really good cue for them to make sure that they finish all the way through with their throw. I'm popping up on my feet now, and we're gonna go into a step and throw. So in their mind, visualize their throwing partner out there. They're gonna be throwing in a couple weeks. This is how we get them to transition to it. I'm just stepping into it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You notice the 2 things happening here. I did the same sequence for timing. So in my head, athletes really respond well to a cadence, right? Position 1, 2, 3, 4. In their head, have them say that cadence. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other thing you're seeing now, I'm going to make sure that there's a follow through of the back foot. So now I'm getting them to finish their throw, and I'm also getting them to stay in their landing leg. That's what we call sticking or landing. When they do this properly, the hips will start to learn how to rotate around the landing leg fully, all the way. So if you saw an improper throw there, where there was a maybe non-hip and shoulder separation, you might see that I didn't get all the way around through that front hip. So this is a great way to get them not just to work on and get confidence in their arm path, but it's also a way for them to learn to get confidence in how to finish and follow through. Again, going back to the other drill before that, you can notice that my non-throwing shoulder, okay, is in here, this position. Now, when I follow through, it got replaced by the throwing shoulder. So I'm really emphasizing that buckle your seatbelt position with no ball in their hand. And then the last one we'll do is a low leg kick. So this is optional, but they like to kind of feel the position. So if this is a pitcher throwing, you could have them just gently at the end of the week, maybe week 2, just do a little bit more of a step and throw with a little bit extra length to that step. So they went from a really short step, just playing catch, into just a hair, a little bit longer, and nice and relaxed, still separating and still finishing with the shoulders replacing each other. And if you notice, I also cue the hip is being replaced in position with the other hip to really get that full finish and follow through. try those before you get to the plyo ball. The next ones will be with the plyo ball, just holding on to the plyo ball, getting them to be comfortable with the grip and with the weight in their hand.